Welcome back. This is Ravens Willis, and today we have this little bit of a serious issue. I found this out opened up in most new media outlets. CBS News has this thing about Stan Lee, where this article goes to say Marvel Comics mogul Stan Lee's former manager, K.A. Morgan, arrested on elder abuse charge. I'm like, what the fuck? Stan Lee was abused, which is horrible. It says in one instance that police allege that Morgan was involved in an autograph session with Lee that netted over $262,000 that Lee never saw. So the guy just pocketed it, basically. And it goes on to say, the former manager of late Marvel Comics, Stan Lee, whose legacy of superheroes was believed to be worth more than $50 million, was arrested in Arizona Saturday, which is today morning, based on a warrant for alleged elder abuse, false imprisonment, and grand theft, police said. The arrest of 43-year-old K.A. Morgan was made north of Phoenix, said Los Angeles police officer Mike Lopez. Authorities from Phoenix and Scottsdale participated in the collar, according to a Los Angeles Police Department statement. Morgan will go before a judge and eventually extradited to Los Angeles to face charges, the statement read. His bail was initially set at $300,000, police said. Morgan was previously arrested on June 11 by LAPD's Commercial Crime Division for allegedly making false 911 calls on May 30th and 31st to further deceive Lee into believing he was in danger and needed to be moved from his home to a more secure condominium where Morgan had more control over Lee, police said Saturday. So he was already arrested for previously problems and obviously bailed out. And he was released on $20,000 bail the same day, according to Los Angeles Sheriff's Department inmate records. That June, Morgan, described by LAPD, as an alleged opportunist and con artist, had Lee removed from his home in the Hollywood Hills and placed in a condo nearby Beverly Hills. So he was put on house arrest, Stan Lee, against his will. They participated a restraining order granted after Lee's daughter became involved in the situation against Morgan, according to LAPD. I can't say that. Police began to investigate the man thoroughly, and on May 10th, charges of elder abuse, false imprisonment, and grand theft were filed. The method of operation of financial abuse, opportunists is gaining the trust of elders in hopes for what that may be a big payoff in the long run, or what is phrased as a long con, LAPD said in its statement. In one instance that police alleged Morgan was involved in an autograph session with Lee that netted more than $262,000 that Lee never saw. The Mongol co-creator of comic books of big screen characters Spider-Man, Iron Man, and the Incredible Hulk died November 12th in Los Angeles at the age of 95. This is horrible. This is horrible. Like, we knew Stan Lee was sick and he passed away. And there was like this last video, it felt like maybe someone was taking advantage of him in one of his last videos. And as we could go, we see that his daughter got involved, and the police got involved, and the guy got arrested. He's been arrested twice, the guy that was abusing Stan Lee. Got out the first time, which is fucked up. That's what money does, you know, you can just get out because you're rich. You don't necessarily have to be famous, you're rich and your problems go away. So if that was just like some random Joe Smo abusing Stan Lee, the person would be in jail, and that would be the end of the story. We'd never hear from it again. And that's messed up because Stan Lee was a great man, that provided us many heroes like the Avengers, Spider-Man. And to hear about this, it's really sad. It breaks my heart a little bit that Stan Lee, that this happened to him towards the end of his life. His last cameo was in Avengers Infinity War. Oh, Endgame was last cameo, which that hurt. Unless they digitalize him in the thing, I don't know. It's just weird to see him CGI. But it goes to show that no matter what your stature in life, whether you're rich, famous, whatever, when you get older and you become vulnerable, if you don't have people check up on people in your life like that you love, like his daughter thankfully checked up on him, found out that he was being abused, and the man faces charges for abusing Stanley and arrested. But like I said, he got out the first time. I don't know if he's going to be, he needs to stay in jail for the second time and pay for his crimes against Stan Lee. They haven't published his name for a reason, because if he was to publish his name, which I know people would take justice in their own hands, which makes sense because Stan Lee is an icon and beloved by many geeks, nerds, and just people in general that like comics. I prefer Iron Man myself. I like the Avengers. Spider-Man's a favorite. I like Batman. That's DC. That has nothing to do with Stan Lee. But I have my own pick of heroes. So I select and pick. But still, that is very, very, very disrespectful. They did that. That he took advantage of him. And this happens all the time. This happens all the time. And a lot of times we don't hear about it. It goes unpublished in the news. Or it's swept under the rug. This happens all the time to other families. Like their grandparents, their parents get taken advantage of and abused. Like in one instance, I personally had this happen to my grandparents. This was years ago before my grandma passed away. In this case, it was someone coming over that, a woman that was supposed to help my grandmother go shopping and stuff. She was stealing her, credit card information and buying stuff that my grandmother was unaware of until we finally caught on. And thankfully my dad checks on her all, twice a week, whatever, and he was able to finally figure out what's going on, because she was bringing over her meth head boyfriend that had been in and out of jail, and he ended up stealing some of my dad's tools and other things from the house. They arrested the woman for these charges. It's been going on for like 6 months, 3 months or whatever, because she was sly about it and no one to catch her. So my dad actually looked at the statements like, oh, this is what's going on. And my dad started noticing stuff was missing, and that he's seen the boyfriend one day that came over, and he's not supposed to be there. It was only supposed to be the woman that helping my grandmother. And unfortunately with the guy, they said there wasn't enough evidence with the guy, so they fucking threw it out, and he spent like 3 days in jail, and he went free. So whatever, a little slap on the wrist. Oh, don't steal again, even though he's been in and out of jail. The woman, as far as I know, is like, she faced like 6 months to a year in jail for stealing from my grandmother. And it's financial abuse and taking advantage of the elderly. That's my personal case that happened to my grandmother. And thankfully my dad was able to discover it, that was happening from someone they hired, actually from a caregiver service. I don't remember the name of it, but they're supposed to do background checks and everything on these people that they hire, but yet it still happens. And like I said, she invited someone into my grandmother's home that wasn't supposed to be there either. So it's sad this happens in today's society. We're one of the richest countries in the world, and we're not taking care of our elderly. Like, and even when we do, like when we're taking care and we're checking them on, there's always people trying to take advantage of them because their memory is going, which is completely horrible. It's sad. Like, it's really horrible. It's sad. Like, and that's what scares me about growing old, is me forgetting everyone I love and stuff, and having people taking advantage of me and my family, because until they realize, oh shit, this person's hurting my dad or my grandpa or whatever, I thought it came from a trusted source, and they had background checks and stuff, and this person's a horrible person. I'm not saying everyone is horrible. There are really good people. I just think that there needs to be more of, I don't know, they need to be more checks on these people that are helping our elderly. And not just what goes on people like that are living, they're still at their homes. Like this, there's been reports of in places where it just becomes too rough. So instead of living at home, they are in a elder care facility. There's abuse rampant running through there, like because you don't personally get to see what's going on. And there's been a lot of cases where they hire someone and or whatever, and they're just a terrible person, and it goes unnoticed for a while, and then they finally get caught. But the damage is already done. The damage is already done to who knows how many elders that they abused and what they have done to them. So it brought a little light to it just because Stan Lee's thing today. So like I would have no idea that had happened to him until today. It's crazy this happened to him. So that's all I have. Thank you for liking and watching this video, and I will catch you guys all later.